The rise of Joko Widodo, widely known as Jokowi, has become one of the most significant chapters in Indonesia's political history. It was a shift in the country's leadership from the elite political and military class to a leader from humble beginnings. After 2 terms as President of Indonesia, Jokowi has changed the economic and political landscape of Indonesia. He led many reforms, some of which have been heavily criticized. Regardless of what good or bad he has done, Joko Widodo will continue to become a national name to many Indonesians for decades to come. But how did Jokowi become the man he was today? What ladder did he climb to become a president? And what were his most significant achievements in Indonesia? Well, let's step back and look at the lens of history. Joko Widodo, known affectionately as Jokowi, was born on June 21, 1961, in Surakarta, a small city in central Java, Indonesia. His upbringing was marked by poverty, with his family living in a riverside shack. Jokowi's father, Wijiatno Notomiharjo, worked as a wood trader, while his mother, Sujiatmi, raised him and his 3 siblings. His early life was challenging, as his family often faced eviction from their home due to their inability to pay rent. These experiences would later shape his deep empathy for the underprivileged and his approach to governance, which emphasized direct engagement with ordinary citizens. Despite the hardships, Jokowi was determined to pursue education. He attended a local primary school in Solo, where he excelled academically, and went on to study at SMP Negeri 1, a public middle school. His academic journey continued at SMA Negeri 6, one of the top high schools in Solo. Jokowi's passion for learning was evident early on, and despite his family's financial struggles, they supported his education, knowing it was key to escaping poverty. After completing high school, Jokowi pursued higher education at Gadjah Mada University in Yogyakarta, where he earned a degree in forestry in 1985. His choice to study forestry was driven by both personal interest and the practical need to find a stable career. During his time at university, he developed a deeper understanding of environmental issues, which later influenced his policies as a public official. Following his graduation, Jokowi initially worked at a state-owned forestry company. However, he soon ventured into the private sector, starting his own furniture and wood business in his hometown of Solo. His business, which began modestly, eventually flourished as Jokowi built a reputation for quality craftsmanship and ethical business practices. Over time, his company expanded internationally, exporting furniture to various countries. This experience in entrepreneurship gave Jokowi practical insights into the challenges faced by small businesses, knowledge he would later apply to his economic policies. Jokowi's success as a businessman and his down-to-earth personality earned him respect and visibility in Solo. By the early 2000s, he had become an active participant in local civic affairs, advocating for better infrastructure and governance in his community. His involvement in local issues, coupled with his reputation for honesty and hard work, led him to pursue a career in politics. Jokowi first entered the political scene when he ran for mayor of Solo, Surakarta, in 2005. His candidacy as a member of the Indonesian Democratic Party of Struggle, PDIP, surprised many, as he was a political outsider with no background in the military or elite circles. However, Jokowi's campaign was built on his reputation as an honest businessman and his commitment to improving the lives of ordinary people. His platform centered on improving public services, reducing corruption, and revitalizing Solo's economy. As mayor, Jokowi quickly earned a reputation for his hands-on leadership style. He implemented several key policies that transformed Solo into a model city for governance and urban development. One of his most notable achievements was the relocation of street vendors from chaotic, crowded streets to designated markets. Unlike previous attempts that had failed due to resistance from vendors, Jokowi's approach was characterized by consultation and negotiation with all stakeholders. He personally met with vendors to understand their concerns and ensured that the relocation was carried out in a way that benefited them. This approach showcased his ability to balance the needs of the people with effective governance. His success in Solo garnered national attention, and he was re-elected in 2010 with an overwhelming majority, winning more than 90% of the vote. By the end of his tenure as mayor, Jokowi had transformed Solo into a vibrant, modern city, earning praise both domestically and internationally. His leadership style, which combined pragmatism with a strong commitment to social justice, set him apart as a rising political figure in Indonesia. In 2012, Jokowi made the leap to national politics when he ran for governor of Jakarta, Indonesia's capital and largest city. His decision to run for governor was initially met with skepticism, as he was seen as an outsider with little experience in the rough-and-tumble world of Jakarta politics. However, his reputation as a reformer in Solo, along with his alliance with PDIP and Megawati Sukarnoputri, gave him the momentum needed to challenge the incumbent governor, Fauzi Bowo. Jokowi's campaign for the governorship was once again centered on his image as a man of the people. His platform focused on improving Jakarta's infrastructure, addressing the city's chronic flooding and traffic congestion, and tackling corruption. He also highlighted the need to improve public housing and healthcare for the city's poor residents. His running mate, Basuki Tjahajapurnama, known as Ahok, a Chinese Christian politician, further underscored Jokowi's commitment to inclusivity and pluralism. Jokowi's victory in the 2012 gubernatorial election was a significant turning point in his political career. His success in Jakarta, one of the most politically and economically important regions in Indonesia, solidified his reputation as a reform-minded leader. As governor, Jokowi continued his practice of belusukan visits, personally inspecting public works projects, visiting slums, and engaging directly with the people of Jakarta. This direct engagement with citizens allowed him to gain a first-hand understanding of the city's problems and take immediate action. During his tenure as governor, Jokowi implemented several key reforms. One of his most significant achievements was the introduction of the Jakarta Smart Card, Kartu Jakarta Pintar, which provided financial assistance for low-income students to access education. He also launched the Jakarta Health Card, Kartu Jakarta Sehat, a program aimed at providing free healthcare services to the city's poor. These programs were widely praised for their effectiveness in addressing the needs of Jakarta's most vulnerable residents. Jokowi also made strides in addressing Jakarta's notorious traffic congestion and flooding. He initiated the construction of new mass transit systems, including the Jakarta Mass Rapid Transit, MRT, and Light Rail Transit, LRT projects, aimed at reducing the city's reliance on cars and alleviating traffic jams. He also worked on dredging rivers and improving drainage systems to mitigate the city's chronic flooding problems. Jokowi's time as governor of Jakarta was relatively short, as he soon became a leading candidate for the presidency. However, his achievements in the capital, combined with his popularity and reputation as a reformer, made him a national political figure. His tenure as governor demonstrated his ability to tackle complex urban issues while maintaining a close connection with the people, further strengthening his image as a leader who could bridge the gap between the elite and ordinary citizens. In the years leading up to the 2014 presidential election, Indonesia's political landscape was shaped by widespread discontent with the political elite and increasing demands for reform. Susilo Bambang Yudhoyono, SBY, Indonesia's president from 2004 to 2014, had served 2 terms but faced criticism towards the end of his tenure for failing to address corruption and economic inequality. Many Indonesians felt that the political system was dominated by oligarchs and elites who were out of touch with the needs of ordinary citizens. Jokowi's rise to national prominence came at a time when the Indonesian electorate was increasingly looking for a leader who could provide a break from this status quo. His success as the mayor of Solo and the governor of Jakarta positioned him as a reformist leader who had a track record of addressing issues such as corruption, infrastructure, and social inequality. Jokowi was seen as a candidate who could bring a new style of governance, one that prioritized transparency, accountability, and direct engagement with the people. On the other side of the political spectrum was Prabowo Subianto, a former military general with strong ties to Indonesia's old political order. Prabowo, who had run for the presidency in 2009, presented himself as a strongman leader, advocating for nationalism and a centralized, authoritative approach to governance. His campaign appealed to those who believed Indonesia needed a more assertive leader to address its challenges. The contrast between the two candidates was clear. Jokowi, the populist and reformist, and Prabowo, the nationalist with a more authoritarian approach. The 2014 election was closely contested, with both candidates drawing large crowds at campaign rallies and engaging in heated televised debates. In the final weeks of the campaign, both sides intensified their efforts to win over undecided voters. Jokowi's strategy of grassroots engagement, combined with his strong messaging on corruption and social justice, helped him maintain his lead in the polls, although the race remained tight until the very end. On July 9, 2014, Indonesia held its presidential election, with millions of Indonesians casting their votes in what was seen as a pivotal moment for the country's democracy. The official results showed that Jokowi had won the election with 53.15% of the vote, defeating Prabowo Subianto, who received 46.85%. The victory was significant not only because of Jokowi's outsider status, but also because it marked the first time that an Indonesian president had been elected from outside the traditional political and military elite. As president of Indonesia, Jokowi has achieved a lot. Under his leadership, Indonesia saw the completion of major projects, such as the Jakarta Mass Rapid Transit (MRT) system, Indonesia's first subway system, which opened in 2019. He also significantly expanded Indonesia's network of toll roads. The Trans-Java Toll Road, stretching across the island of Java, and the construction of the Trans-Sumatra Highway were landmark projects that aimed to improve domestic transport and economic integration. Then there was also energy infrastructure, particularly focusing on expanding electricity access to rural areas. His government introduced the 35,000 megawatt program to increase electricity generation and reduce power shortages in underdeveloped regions. For social welfare, Jokowi expanded the National Health Insurance Program, Jaminan Kesehatan Nasional, JKN, which had been initiated by his predecessor. Jokowi's administration aimed to provide universal healthcare coverage, especially for lower-income families. By 2019, over 83% of Indonesians were enrolled in JKN, making it one of the largest public health insurance programs in the world. Jokowi's social welfare programs also included cash transfers to low-income families through the Kartu Keluarga Sejahtera, Family Welfare Card program. These efforts aimed at reducing poverty, which had been a persistent issue in Indonesia. For economic reforms, Jokowi made strides in improving Indonesia's business climate. His administration introduced a series of regulatory reforms to simplify business processes and attract foreign investment. By 2020, Indonesia had improved its ranking in the World Bank's Ease of Doing Business Index, moving from 120th in 2014 to 73rd. This was Jokowi's life as president. As his tenure came to a close, a surprising aspect about him came out. His eldest son, Gibran Rakabuming Raka, has won the vice presidency of Indonesia. This puts Jokowi and his family on the path to political dynasty, which is not favored by many people. But for now, the rise of Joko Widodo is indeed one of the greatest stories in Indonesia. But anyway, do let us know what you think. Thanks for watching.